Today, the University and the Alumni Association are pleased to present the Northeastern Illinois University Distinguished Alumnus Award to Thomas White. Would Thomas and Vice President Downey please join me at the podium? The Distinguished Alumnus Award is the highest alumni honor that the university bestows. It recognizes a particular achievement of note, or a series of achievements, or a career of outstanding accomplishment. At Northeastern, one of our treasured values is the attainment of excellence. Among our many thousands of successful Northeastern alumni, Thomas White is an exemplar. Mr. White graduated from Northeastern in 1981 with a degree in physical education. He was the first team All-American football player at NEIU, and in fact, after graduation, was a free agent with the Pittsburgh Steelers and played for the Chicago Fire of the AFA. Tom's 3-decade career in insurance and finance has been one of remarkable success and international character. He held a variety of senior positions for Zurich Insurance Company, most recently having served as president of Farmers Non-Insurance Businesses. Prior to that, he led the global human resource function for Zurich Insurance Group with 65,000 employees headquartered in Zurich, Switzerland, and he served as the CEO for Zurich, Japan. Before Zurich, Mr. White held a variety of senior positions around the world, especially in Asia. He was president and CEO of AIA living in Thailand and served as a senior regional executive of AIG Asia, responsible for Southeast Asia. He began his career in insurance at Allstate shortly after graduating from NEIU. He held a number of field management positions and worked his way up the ranks to executive management. While in Thailand, he served as president of the American Chamber of Commerce and also in a number of other non-governmental and charitable organizations. He was also actively involved in Operation Smile, Habitat for Humanity, and Special Olympics. Now I'm going to go off script for just a second, and when the president goes off script, everybody gets nervous. But I had the pleasure of having dinner with Tom and Karen last night, and I think what you should know is Tom is also a brilliant storyteller. But what I found wonderful about his stories was that it wasn't about what he achieved, but more importantly, and what his passion was about what he gave. So he truly does embody our sense of our value of community and a sense for caring for each other, and in fact does have everybody's back. Therefore, given your many achievements and contributions to society, it is most befitting that Northeastern Illinois University and the Northeastern Illinois University Alumni Association present to you the 2016 Distinguished Alumnus Award to Thomas White. Congratulations. Mr. White will now address the graduates.
I didn't need these 35 years ago. I'm certainly truly humbled and honored to be here today to have the ability to address our new Northeastern graduates. And for myself, 35 years ago, I sat in that same seat. I want to thank Dr. Haas. I want to thank Dr. Heldauber, the wonderful administration and the wonderful faculty of Northeastern Illinois University. I also want to thank the entire Golden Eagle community that's joined us today. From the absolute bottom of my heart, I want to say to each of the graduates, congratulations and well done. Your future is bright. I want to talk to you about 3 things today. I wanted to speak a little bit about your journey, what this might look like. I wanted to talk about the gift of diversity and inclusion the advantage you have from Northeastern. And I want to talk just a little bit about social responsibility. For me, my journey started 43 years ago at Argo High School, which is on the southwest side. First generation college graduate, like many of the people sitting here today. My mom and dad and grandma and grandpa were sitting in the audience, seeing the first grandson graduate. And you know, I can almost cry because I remember how that felt when I was like you all those years ago. I was dating Karen, who's been my wife, my best friend, my partner, since we've been 17, and she's here tonight, or this afternoon. I couldn't imagine sitting there what my life was going to look like. A matter of fact, let me tell you what I thought it was. I actually thought I'd play in the NFL 10, 12 years, coach a couple of Super Bowl teams, and be on TV on Sunday as a commentator. None of that worked out. What happened is that Art Thompson, a Northeastern graduate, said to me, he said, "Tom, why don't you apply to our company?" And that was Allstate Insurance Company in Northbrook. And that was the beginning of my career, and how it took place, and going forward, it's been an amazing ride. I've had the opportunity to live in 7 different countries. I've had the opportunity to meet with presidents, ambassadors, prime ministers, and royalty throughout the world. Privileged enough to raise 2 children overseas that are true global citizens of the world. For 16 years, the last 16 years, I've managed companies that had over 85,000 people working for them. I was responsible for delivering billions of dollars of revenue each and every year. But that's not what I'm most proud of. I'm proud of on that journey, the things that we have witnessed as a family and the things that we have done to help society. We have seen horrific poverty in this world, and we've seen shameful wealth. We lived through 3 military coups, 2 tsunamis, the great earthquake in Japan. We lived under socialism and communism. And I will tell you, and I say this from the bottom of my heart, we live in the greatest country this planet has ever produced. In those positions, you have responsibility. And your responsibility has to go back to the people that live in the communities that we serve. I'm proud, with Karen's help and the firm's help, we in Asia, we fixed 3,500 children's cleft palates in Asia to date. We built 150 homes, 2 schools during the great tsunamis in Asia. We led the charge for early breast detection and breast cancer detection in Asia after my wife Karen suffered from it almost 20 years ago. We worked in the slums of Bangkok for the Human Development Center, and I'm really honored that when Eunice Kennedy Shriver, who is the president and founder of Special Olympics, before she passed, I had the opportunity to work with her to bring the Special Olympics to Japan. So for my life and our life, it wasn't about these cool titles. It was always about what can you do with that to give back to your communities. And I never forgot, without Northeastern Illinois University, none of this was going to happen. I thank God each and every day for having the opportunity to be a Golden Eagle. You, just like me, we have now received the wonderful, wonderful education that they were provided by Northeastern. You met tremendous professors, tremendous faculty, tremendous administrators. And at Northeastern will change your life just like it's changed mine forever. I'm blessed the number of classmates that I had 35 years ago, and I look at them today, and the careers that they have, the things that they've done in their lives that really have set a standard of excellence. I know that you're blessed, and we're all blessed to be here, but I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you to reach back into the university, to that professor, to that administrator, that person that you built a relationship with, and I want you to call them, text them, and say, will it be okay if we could stay in touch? Because I had one person in my life from Northeastern that I was in touch with, and he was my link back in, and that's Dan Creeley. Dan's here today. Dan Creeley not only guided me, led me, mentored me, he helped me grow teams, he also taught me about the spiritual world, he also taught me how to be a better man. So I would really like to give Dan Creeley a hand. Thank you so much. As you start your journey, and this is just a Tom says, right? Because you can leave here today and say, well, whatever that guy said. But this is what I actually believe. You've got to live this on your own terms. You are now graduates. You've got to figure out what's going to make you happy. Your journey's got to be around something that's passionate. What do you really care about? What do you really think? What's going to drive you in your heart? Because I'll tell you, life is way too long or way too short, however you look at it, to be unhappy. So it's about passion. Pursuing your passion is the only path worth pursuing for you sitting there today. Do your groundwork. You know, you'll ask people, you'll talk to your parents, you'll talk to friends and teachers, but the intuition that sits inside you and the path you choose, you'll know if that's the right one. And if it's not, you take another one. But trust the intuition that lives within inside you today. I'd also like you to understand there are no perfect decisions. The only perfect decisions that you can make are ones that aren't going to turn out. Just like I talked to you a moment ago about the NFL. Yeah, that was a perfect decision. Didn't turn out. Your path is going to be led by what you believe, what you truly believe, and not what anybody else ever tells you. So there are no bad mistakes. The only bad mistake is if you don't learn from it. You're going to fail. I promise that. Everybody on the stage has failed. Everybody in this auditorium has failed. How do you handle those dark days? It's about dusting yourself off and getting back up and going back to work. That's what's going to define your character, because life wasn't meant to be easy. Nobody ever said it was going to be. I want you to embrace that adventure in you. Don't say no to it. I was working for a man named Hank Greenberg, a multi-billionaire. And he called me into the office one day, and he said, I want to promote you. Well, that's a good thing. And I want you to move to Kuala Lumpur. Okay? That's back before the internet. So I had to go home, look on a globe to find out that Malaysia was below Thailand and above Singapore. It was a Muslim country that palm oil was their #1 export. So I sat there and said, what's the right decision to make? Well, I believe this in my heart too, is that successful people will do what others will not. So without making that decision on that one day, my career wouldn't have been what it was today. And I was fortunate to have Karen, because we moved her 20 times now in our business career. And she's never complained once, and she raised our family. So to my Karen, thank you, honey. In short, my educated friends, it's your own plans, it's your own thoughts, it's your own life, and success and happiness in this world is solely dependent on you. Change subject real quick, diversity and inclusion. As you know, Northeastern is one of the diverse universities in America. And I promise you this, when you go in a job interview and you say to that HR person that I went to one of the most diverse universities in the United States, that I believe in diversity and inclusion, do that for yourselves, because that's what corporations, that's what people are trying to hire today, broad-minded, open people. Dr. Haas once wrote, and I'll quote, diversity in our community trends not only who we are, but what we do. At Northeastern, we welcome, accept, respect, and embrace our differences because we value one another. Northeastern Illinois University is a microcosm of what America has to be. America, if we don't come together as a people and respect everyone's opinion, everyone's religion, everyone's gender, everyone's preferences, we're not going to have to prosper. We're not going to grow. But you hold the key. You hold the key through diversity and inclusion to change our world. I want each of you to go out in the world. I want you to be a guardian of diversity and inclusion. I want you to be inclusive of all people, because why? It drives innovation. The more people you have varying views in a room, you will make a better choice. You will have more innovation. So understanding the power, harnessing the power of diversity and inclusion, is not only going to be better for your future, your family future, but the future of our nation. So take that as a proud gift that Northeastern has given you. Last thing I want to talk about giving back, social responsibility. I'm going to tell you one personal story, and then I'm going to tell you a story that I just learned recently. There was a Catholic priest in Thailand, and his name's Father Joe, and Thailand's about 95% Buddhist. And Father Joe started the center there, was the Human Development Center in the slums of Bangkok. What he did is he would take the AIDS babies that either the parents were already dying or the grandparents couldn't take care of, he would take them into the orphanage. Well, let me tell you, those stories, that breaks my heart when I see that. So what I would do for Father Joe, I'd help him on the marketing and the fundraising. But my wife and my daughter Angela and many other volunteers would go rock the AIDS babies every day, touch them, tickle them, tease them, because they needed that contact. So I never could walk back there. Father Joe asked me, he said, Tom, one time, come with me. So I go back there, and there's my wife rocking these babies. They're cooing. I mean, it's a beautiful scene. And he takes me into the classroom, and he asked me what I saw on the wall. Well, there were pictures the kids drew. There were flowers, and there were birds, and there was sun, and there was sky. And he said, what do I see? I said, well, I think I see happy children. And he said, that's exactly right. Children at that point, before the cocktail drugs got better, would only live 8 to 12 years. And he said to me, and he looked me right in the eye, he said, my job on earth is to ensure we maximize the lives of these children. Let me tell you, at that moment, I saw an angel on earth, and there are many out there. I ask you, from a social responsibility perspective, you go help. I don't care if it's coaching baseball or reading at the rec center. Go help and start right away. The second story I'm going to get us closer to home. It's Laura Stock, and Laura's in the audience today. Laura was the manager on our football team. She was a PE teacher in Chicago. She taught children with special needs. But her life didn't start out very easy. She was adopted at birth, and her sister, Linda, had Down syndrome. Through her life, she was taking care of her sister. She knew that she had to do something different. She didn't know what it was going to be. And Dan Creeley, I keep going back to Dan Creeley helped her. She had a vision. She didn't know what the vision meant. So that she went to one of the peace ceremonies that was being held in Arkansas. And she was able to figure out that she was supposed to leave this normal life, give it all up, and start to Dream of Hope Ranch, which she has done, and that's just south of Austin, Texas. She's there today with her son, who has Down syndrome, and many other children, and she's teaching them through the therapy of animals. So there's goats on the property, and horses on the property, and dogs on the property. And she's getting these children, and grown adults, again, her sister's the same age, to be able to communicate better, to perhaps be in a position where they can survive and they can prosper once their parents are gone. And I look at Laura Stock, and Laura, can you just stand if you're there? Somebody wave at her. Right there, there's Laura. Another angel on earth. So those are examples of things that can happen, things I would like you to do. I'd like you to have a wonderful day, but I really do want you to reach out to your parents, your uncle, your cousin, your sister, your mother, whoever supported you to get you here today. Hug them, tell them you love them, tell them you appreciate them, because life's too short not to. I'm proud of you. Enjoy your day. Thank you.